going into the season, I am just looking at some long shots, and I think it's a quarterback award. So I'm looking there. Although I do have a long shot that is not a quarterback that I am considering. Narrative is a big, big part of this. And I don't know if it's going to happen this week, but the plan seems to be for one of the best corners, if not the best in the country, Derek Stingley Jr., who is a junior at LSU. Terrific corner, but they're going to work him into the offense.
Charles Woodson?
So, yes, that is could that happen again? I saw Herb Street say he's the most, I believe he said it, he's the most exciting player in the country right now, 70-1. And there are multiple sites that have him as the overall number one draft prospect in college football in 2021. You could find 70s out there. I know there were some triple digits not too long ago. I mean, that could be it. If LSU is good, fighting for a playoff spot to come out of the SEC, and I'm buying into LSU. I gave out the over win total a few weeks ago, so I'm believing in them. If you think they're good, and this guy's going to be part of it on offense and defense, that's how you go non-quarterback.
That's interesting. Here's what I need, though. If he's going to do it, I need him to score a touchdown and do the Heisman Trophy pose in the end zone. The old Charles Woodson.
Oh, that would go wild.
Yes, that's how you win the award. He won that over Peyton Manning. Like, if you're going to win the award over a quarterback, you got to go do the Heisman pose at some point.
Yeah, Herbie said most exciting 2021 college football player.
Well, he's already got the Herbie hype starting there. All right, that's a good one. Let me throw another name for you. Also, SEC, 25-1, Emery Jones, the quarterback out of Florida. I thought this was interesting. So Kyle Trask last year put up good numbers, but Emery Jones is more of a dual threat quarterback. Dan Mullen's team, in the last 4 years, they've gone from 102nd to 8th in pass percentage rank. Think about that for a second. I mean, Dan Mullen was running the football 4 years ago, probably more than most, 102nd in college football in pass percentage. He was 8th last year. They've turned the program and the offense into throwing, and it's a dual threat quarterback. Emery Jones at Florida. He'll be on the big stage against Georgia. He'll play in big games in the SEC all year. Emery Jones, 25-1. That could be a name we're talking about mid-October, and this number can move.
I do recall in some of those Florida blowouts over the last few years when Emery Jones would get on the field. Like, he's impressive. He's a player. And it's funny because Mullen, he just doesn't care. Oh, we're up by 5 touchdowns. Cool. Throwing. He's got Emery Jones just firing out there. So that could be a name that certainly pops this year.
You got another name for us?
I wish the Howell odds were better because I would go that route. You buying into USC? I'm in love with this range after the top guys because I believe in the players, but it seems like the value is completely sucked out. There are a lot of guys I like who used to be in the 25-1 range, and you mentioned now they're at 15-1 right now. Bryce Young, that number's way too short at 9-1.
Sure.
He's tied for the second favorite because he plays for Alabama. He's their starting quarterback. So I don't have much interest there. Slovis has dropped, though. I mean, not too long ago, he was in that 25-1 range, and now he's 40-1. Why do you think Slovis is dropping?
Because of USC? Because it's tough to trust USC?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess you're shortening those other numbers. If you're going to be fair about it, you've got to increase some other quarterback numbers. But I'm not quite sure why that one's dropping. That might be worth something at 40.
Let me give you a non-quarterback, all right? You picked a non-quarterback, the most exciting player potentially in college football. I'm going to pick a running back. It's been since 2011 a running back took this award. Bijan Robinson, the running back out of Texas, Joe, at 25-1. Some of his numbers, I know it's a quarterback award. Like, he'd have to be off the charts to win this thing. He is off the charts. He had 6.1 yards per carry last year after contact. He had 8.2 yards per carry last year. The math on that and the explosives, if he gets any better, if he can even replicate that, we're talking about a kid in Sark's offense down there. I mean, think about the great backs that Alabama's had recently with Sark there at Alabama with Nick Saban. This kid looks like a dual threat, but, kind of the guy they give the ball to all the time at Texas. At 25-1, I would look to put a little bit on Bijan Robinson. I'm going to. I think if there's a non-quarterback that wins, I think he could have one of those years. It's like, oh my goodness, he ran for 1,700. He had 35 catches and 600 yards receiving too. I think he's an interesting play.
Do you think the voters want to give the Heisman Trophy to 3 Oklahoma quarterbacks in 5 years?
Probably not.
I agree. Now, if the numbers are undeniable, they're undeniable. I think they're going to be in that playoff race. They're going to be good. So we'll see. But I think you're right on that. That if there is another option, they would rather not go back to the Oklahoma quarterback well.